now realize for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.
This play's full title is The Importance of Being Earnest, a trivial comedy for serious people. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and in this installment of Mojo Notes, we'll be exploring 10 things you should know about Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest.
Algy, for heaven's sake, stop playing that ghastly tune.
Number 10. About the author. Born in Dublin, Ireland in 1854, Oscar Wilde was exposed to the worlds of medicine and culture by his successful parents. While studying the classics and reading the greats during college, he joined artistic and literary movements. He became known for his writing, especially his poems, plays, and soul novel during the late 19th century. After being imprisoned for his lifestyle choices, Wilde succumbed to illness in 1900. Number 9. Influences and inspirations. Wilde was already at the peak of his success when he wrote this play. Featuring elements of farce through its exaggerated and unlikely situations, this comedy of manners also parodies social classes in a witty and intellectual way.
And where did this charitable gentleman with the first-class ticket for the seaside resort find you?
In a handbag.
Number 8. Settings and era. Written in Worthing, England in 1894, The Importance of Being Earnest moves between the urban city vibe of London and the more natural country atmosphere of Hertfordshire during the mid-1890s. However, those settings are not meant to contrast each other. Wilde actually uses both locations to mock late Victorian high society and its social customs.
Cake is rarely seen in the best houses nowadays.
Number 7. Plot.
Besides, your name isn't Jack at all, it is Ernest.
It isn't Ernest, it's Jack.
You have always told me it was Ernest. You're the most earnest-looking person I ever saw in my life.
Though this play is not told through the eyes or voice of a narrator, the plot revolves around two friends named John and Algernon who attempt to avoid their social obligations by pretending to be a made-up person named Ernest.
Well, my name is Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
In love with a woman named Gwendolen, John, as Ernest, proposes to her, but the marriage is forbidden due to his low birth.
I'm engaged to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
Pardon me, you are not engaged to anyone. When you do become engaged to someone, I or your father, should his health permit him, will inform you of the fact.
Algernon, as Ernest, then proposes to the heiress named Cecily, whom Jack is legally bound to protect.
Cecily, who addresses me as uncle out of motives of respect which you could not possibly appreciate, lives at my place in the country under the charge of her admirable governess, Miss Prism.
After several confusing and hilarious situations, the truth is revealed. The two men are actually brothers, and John's birth name is Ernest.
Ernest John. Gwendolen, I always told you that my name was Ernest.
This means the two couples can be together at last.
Cecily, at last. Gwendolen, at last.
Number 6. John Worthing. John, or Jack when he's in the country, drives the play's action along, with help from his fellow protagonist, Algernon. As such, these well-educated and well-off men are quite similar. They're trying to get wives, and they have butlers and imaginary friends.
In order to get up to town, I have always pretended to have a younger brother of the name of Ernest, who lives here in the Albany and who gets into the most dreadful scrapes.
Both work hard to secure their engagements, despite Lady Bracknell's judgment, and both descend on the country, essentially in disguise, to deal with the problem of Brother Ernest.
I simply wanted to be engaged to Gwendolen, that is all. I love her.
Well, I simply wanted to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There is certainly no chance of your marrying Miss Cardew.
I don't think there is much likelihood, Jack, of you and Miss Fairfax being united.
They also arrange for christenings they think will bring the happy ending of marriage.
But I've just made arrangements with Dr. Chasuble to be christened at 6 o'clock under the name of Ernest.
Oh, my dear fellow, I've made arrangements with Dr. Chasuble myself to be christened at 5:30. And I naturally will take the name of Ernest.
However, Jack differs from Algy because he's more serious about keeping up his air of respectability.
I don't propose to discuss modern culture with you. That isn't the sort of thing one should talk of in private.
He also acts like a protective older sibling, but gets angry when things don't go his way.
Oh.
Number 5. Algernon Moncrief. Algernon is Jack's vain and impulsive best friend.
Don't you touch them. They're ordered specially for Aunt Augusta.
Well, you're eating them?
That's quite a different matter. She is my aunt.
He takes few things seriously and is more interested in having fun. He demonstrates this by taking on the persona of Ernest to charm Cecily into falling in love with him.
This world is good enough for me, Cousin Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
Well, no, I am not that. That is why I would like you to reform me.
Number 4, Gwendolyn Fairfax and Cecily.
The task is not a pleasant one.
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I nearly always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take the time from me?
Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier.
That is all.
Our
Christian names? Is that all?
But we're going to be christened this afternoon.
Though Gwendolyn and Cecily have diaries and want to marry a man named Ernest, these two ladies also have their share of differences. While Gwendolyn is bossy and believes she's more cultured due to her city upbringing, Cecily is clever, simple, and innocent.
I've never met a really wicked person before. I feel rather frightened. I'm so afraid you look just like everyone else.
Despite being a country girl, Cecily also demonstrates she can hold her own against Gwendolyn.
I am Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh. It is strange he never mentioned to me that he had a ward. How secretive of him.
This is especially important later on, considering they will be sisters-in-law.
My poor wounded Cecily.
My sweet, wronged Gwendolyn.
You will call me sister.
Number 3, Values and Themes. The play discusses how lying to get out of one's duties can quickly get out of control, and how truth and honesty ultimately win out. It also explores how reputation and social class affect relationships, as well as the significance of love and marriage. Though foolishness can bring humor to our lives, it's also important to know when to be sincere and earnest. In this way, Wilde is making light of the obsessions and faults of the Victorian upper class.
I hope you are behaving very well.
I'm feeling very well, Aunt Augusta.
Yes, that's not quite the same thing.
Number 2, Modern Popularity. With its tight plot and a climax that unfolds near the end, The Importance of Being Earnest is considered a well-made play. And, thanks to its humor and dialogue, it's considered one of Wilde's finest literary achievements.
I've now realized for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.
Number 1, Adaptations. The play's popularity has influenced people to adapt it for the radio, opera, and television. When it comes to big screen versions, the 1952 film has been praised for its closeness to the play and its acting. 50 years later, movie audiences were entertained by the Oliver Parker-directed adaptation, starring Reese Witherspoon, Colin Firth, and more.
When you do become engaged to someone, I or your father, should his health permit him, will inform you of the fact.
What's your favorite piece of The Importance of Being Earnest trivia?
Mother.
Mr. Worthing, I am unmarried.
For more informative top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
My nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I have now realized for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.